Hi, everyone. Oh, let me take these out. Good morning, or maybe good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. Okay, guys, hopefully you can see my screen now. Today, we are going to learn some small talk conversation starters. So, we're going to learn what small talk is, what topics we usually talk about, and then I will give you many examples of conversation starters for small talk in many different situations. So let's go ahead and get started. So, question number one: what is small talk? Small talk is polite conversation about unimportant or uncontroversial topics. So, polite, this means friendly, nice, right? Very casual. And when we have small talk, we talk about things that are not important and not controversial. If you don't know this word, controversial, if something is controversial, it might mean that many people disagree about this topic. So if it's uncontroversial, it means we can all agree on this. We can all talk about it easily and with no arguing. Okay? So we often have small talk with coworkers, acquaintances, strangers, and even our friends and family and the people we know well. So we can have small talk with almost anyone. So, small talk topics. What do we usually talk about when we are having small talk? Small talk topics usually include things like the weather, weekend activities and hobbies, and current events. So, what is a current event? Current means now or around this time, and an event is a thing that happened. So, for example, the coronavirus pandemic is a current event, right? We might talk about that in small talk. But just like there are many topics that we can talk about and that we do talk about often, there are topics we do not want to talk about. And this includes things like politics, religion, or anything too personal. So, especially if I do not know you very well, I do not probably want to talk about something that could be controversial, like politics. So, who is president and what I think, or religion, right? Many people have different religions, or anything too personal. So if I am meeting you, if I want to say, "Hey, how about the weather today?" That's okay. But if I want to say, "Hey, I'm having huge family problems right now," no, too personal, right? We do not want to do that. So, let's learn some small talk conversation starters. So, for each topic, we'll look at 5 or 6 questions that you can use to start conversation. All right, the number one topic we usually think about and joke about when we talk about small talk is the weather. So, the weather is, of course, uncontroversial, unimportant, but it's something easy to talk about. Maybe you're waiting in line, or maybe you are sitting next to someone you only know a little, or maybe you're just trying to start a conversation. The weather is an easy topic to talk about. So let's look at 5 conversation starters for the weather. Number one, can you believe how it's been? So here in the blank, we might say, can you believe? Oh, where'd my mouse go? Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys. Just a moment. Sometimes my mouse disappears. Can you believe how rainy it's been? Can you believe how hot it's been? Can you believe how cold or snowy it's been? So, any weather that has been happening recently, we can easily start a conversation. Can you believe? So, I am here in Florida in the US, and it is raining every day a little. So, I might say, can you believe how rainy it's been? And someone might respond, oh, I know, it has been so rainy. I really want to go hiking, but I can't because it's always raining. Oh, I love hiking. Where do you like to hike? And so on. So, even these small questions like, can you believe how rainy it's been? Can be great conversation starters. All right, let's see our next one. So, here we can also talk about what the weather will be like in the future. I heard it's going to blank today. Or I heard it's going to blank tomorrow. Or I heard it's going to blank this weekend. So maybe it's winter and I heard it's going to snow today. Or I heard it's going to snow tomorrow or this weekend, right? Whatever your future time is that you heard about the weather. So I heard it's going to snow today. Oh, yeah, I think I heard that too. Maybe I'm going to go skiing this weekend, right? So here, this is not a question. Many of the examples today will be questions, but we can also start small talk with just a statement about a fact, right? I heard it's going to snow today. Oh, yeah, I heard that. And then your conversation begins. Okay, let's look at a few more. Beautiful day, isn't it? So this is another question, isn't it? So here we're just confirming or saying something we know the person will agree with or have the same opinion as us about, isn't it? Beautiful day, isn't it? So, a great thing, maybe you're just speaking to someone again you don't know very well. Oh, beautiful day, isn't it? Yes, it's such a gorgeous day. And you can continue your conversation. Okay, a couple more. So let's say there's beautiful weather, right? Whatever that means to you. And you might ask someone, are you going to get out and enjoy this beautiful weather today? Or this weekend or some future time, right? Are you going to do something outside to enjoy the weather? So this is a great small talk question, right? Because this is a great way for our conversation to really begin. Are you going to go somewhere to enjoy the weather? Well, we're going to learn something about the person we're talking to. Maybe they say, no, I'm going to stay inside. I don't like this weather. It's too hot. Or maybe someone says, yes, I'm going to go kayaking, right? No matter what, we learn something and we can start a conversation. And something similar to the first question, keep losing my mouse. Oh, there it is. So just like, can you believe how rainy it's been? We can say something like, the weather has been blank lately, hasn't it? The weather has been rainy lately. The weather has been great lately, right? So here we're just filling in with our adjective about the weather. The weather has been hot, cold, rainy, great, terrible, right? All right, so these are our weather small talk conversation starters. Now, another place we can talk about the weather with anyone, anywhere. But some small talk is different for each place or situation. So here, let's look at small talk at work. So, of course, at work, we see the people we work with every day or 5 days a week, or, depending on what your job is. So we are a little familiar. We know them. So we often have small talk with the people we work with. So let's look at some work small talk questions. A great question to ask is, so, how did you get into and whatever the job is? So, I'm a teacher. So, let's say I am at my school and I meet a new teacher, or I just see them very often and I want to know them a little better, or just want to chat. I might say, so, how did you get into teaching? How did you get into teaching? And then they'll tell me about why they started teaching and so on. So, this is a great question to ask someone at work. So, how did you get into sales? So, how did you get into medicine, right? Whatever your field is. So, this is a great small talk question for someone you work with that you just want to get to know. Let's see, another great question. How long have you been working here? So maybe you don't know, right? You're just being conversational. You just want to have some small talk. So, how long have you been working here? A very common small talk question at work is, looking forward to the weekend? Or just asking about the weekend, right? Many of us at some time in the week feel so tired at work. So we might ask, are you looking forward to the weekend? Or what are you going to do this weekend? Right? We can also, in small talk, just make comments about what is happening, right? So we could say something like, I can't believe how busy we are today. Or I can't believe how slow we are today. Can you? So maybe it is a very busy day, so busy that normally it is not this busy. I can't believe how busy we are today. Can you? Oh, no, I can't believe it. I have so much work to do. Okay, and last one, we can also just talk about the week, right? This week has gone so slowly. Maybe it feels like Friday, but it's only Tuesday. Oh, this week has gone so slowly, hasn't it? Or maybe it's a busy week, it's going very quickly. So I think it's only Wednesday, but it's already Friday. This week has gone so quickly, hasn't it? So here we see some very common or very normal and typical questions for small talk at work. Okay, let's go to our next one. This is one that I think you will all be interested in, which is small talk at social events. So, this could be a party, or maybe you go to lunch with a friend and they bring two people who you don't know, right? Or something like this, any social event, a work party or a social gathering, anything like this, where it's social, right? Casual. And you're talking to people that you do not know yet. Okay, so let's look at some small talk at social events. A great starter for small talk is, what brings you here? Oh, what brings you here? Let's say there's a big party that my friend is having, and they know so many people. Oh, what brings you here? Oh, I'm friends with so and so, and they invited me, right? So basically, why are you here? What made you come to this social event? Another great small talk conversation starter is asking how that person knows the host of the event. So let's say my friend my friend Molly is hosting a social event. She's having a party. She has a big house and many people are there, but it's her party. So when I see someone there, maybe I'm just hanging out, right? Someone is next to me. Oh, hey. So how do you know Molly? Oh, I met her, da da da. And then we can start our conversation just by sharing how we know the host of the party. Another great small talk conversation starter is giving someone a compliment. So, a compliment is saying something nice about that person. Maybe it's about their appearance, maybe it's about what they're wearing, right? So, usually, when we give a compliment to someone we don't know, we might comment or compliment them on something they're wearing. So, I might say something like, "Wow, I love your shirt. Can I ask where you got it?" So maybe I see someone wearing a shirt and it has my favorite singer on it, my favorite band. Wow, I love your shirt. Can I ask where you got it? Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, do you like this band too? I got this shirt at, right? So, a great way to start the conversation is just by giving someone a compliment. Another, so we have two more. The next one for a social event is, how are you liking this social event? So we don't say social event. This is in what we call these parentheses. Why? Because we would replace this with a word like party. Or let's say there's a fundraiser. So that a fundraiser, when people have some big dinner or party to help raise money for some purpose. So how are you liking this party? How are you liking this fundraiser? Right? Just a casual, small talk conversation starter. Oh, it's really great. Or, oh man, I'm so bored. Or yeah, anything that they respond with, we can continue our conversation. And last, so here we have a statement we can use. Maybe I see someone who looks like they're really not having fun at this social event. I might say something like, "It looks like you could use another drink." So, just a funny way. Oh, maybe they are drinking wine, but it looks like, oh, this is not fun. Oh, looks like you could use another drink. So, here are some small talk conversation starters for social events. Okay, we have a couple more. So, next is small talk about current events. And if you remember from earlier, a current event is something happening now. So, something in the news, for example, some event that we hear about in our local area or in our country or in the world, right? Anywhere. So, I might ask someone, "Did you hear about blank?" Let's say in my town there was a fire. A restaurant caught on fire. Did you hear about the fire at the Chili's restaurant? Did you hear about that? So we can ask, "Did you hear about?" And then someone might answer yes, and we talk about it, or they might answer no, and we tell them about it, right? "Oh, you didn't hear about it? Oh, let me tell you." Da 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 da. So, did you hear about this current event? Did you hear about the flooding in Germany? Right, another current event. Did you hear about the building that collapsed in Miami? Right, things in the news that maybe when they're just happening, we might ask, "Did you hear about it?" We can ask, "What do you think about some current event?" So, what is your opinion about some current event that is happening? Oh, what do you think about the new lockdown in Korea, where it's or any current event, right? So, COVID, lots of current events. What do you think about that? Oh, I think we can also start sentences with where we heard something. So the next two we see are, the next two we see are, "I heard on the radio today that," or "I saw on the news that," and then talking about whatever that thing is. Oh, I heard on the radio today that uh, Lady Gaga is doing a concert next week we should go, right? Whatever the current event is. So we can say where we heard it. I heard it on the radio, I saw it on the news, I read in the newspaper, and so on. And then sharing what that thing is. And a great current event and also a common topic for small talk is about sports. Did you catch the game last night? So maybe there was a basketball game last night that I know many people watched. If I'm just being friendly and having some small talk, hey, did you catch the game last night? So here we see some great conversation starters for small talk about current events. All right, how about with strangers? We'll go through these a little quickly. So, the first two things we might talk about with strangers is commenting on, let's say they have a baby or a child, or they are walking their dog. We might just be friendly and say something like, "Oh, what a beautiful baby. How old is he?" Or "How old is she?" Or if they're walking their dog, "What a cute puppy. What's his name?" Or "What's her name?" So, this is a great way to just have small talk. Maybe you are in the park or you're walking in your neighborhood and you see someone and you just want to be friendly and have some small talk. Or if you're outside at the park or going for a walk or something like this, you might just say, "It's a beautiful day to be outside, isn't it?" So here again, we see that, isn't it? I think we saw this in our weather section. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? So here, just confirming, right? This means I know you will agree. It's a beautiful day to be outside, isn't it? Now, the next few we're going to look at are if you are waiting. So I'm going to put a line here. Now, what if you are waiting in a long line somewhere? Maybe you're at a theme park, right, waiting to go on a roller coaster, or you're at the store and you are just being casual, having small talk with the person in front of you, or they might ask you these questions too. Can you believe this line? Oh, it's so long. Can you believe this line? You might ask someone, maybe you think, maybe I will not go on this roller coaster or I will not buy this thing today. Let's see how the person at the end of the line, excuse me, how long have you been waiting? And last, it looks like we're going to be here for a while. So we have our two different situations. This is very casual, like out at the park or out for a walk when you just see people you don't know or you're just trying to be friendly. And here, waiting in line, waiting to do something. So those are some great conversation starters, but that's not the limit. We can have small talk about many topics like shows, movies, plays, and so on. Oh, hey, instead of "Did you watch the game last night?" Have you seen that new movie? Have you seen the Black Widow movie yet? Right? Small talk. We could talk about food, restaurants, or cooking. So, a new restaurant opens up in town, and I'm talking maybe to my coworker or to my friend of a friend, and I say something like, "Hey, have you gone to the new sushi restaurant yet?" Hobbies are a great small talk topic. Anything that you want to ask someone about their hobbies or share a little bit about yours. Travel. Oh, have you traveled to this national park yet? Have you traveled to this other place yet? And finally, local favorites. So this means anything in your town or your area that you're just being conversational about. So that could be local restaurants, local shops, local places to go, and just chatting about those things. So, before we end today's lesson, let me give you some small talk tips. My tip number one is to ask open ended questions. So, this means that they are not yes or no questions. So, those can be good, right? Like, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? That's a yes, it is, or no, it isn't question. That's okay. But it's even better to ask open ended questions. So often these start with our WH words: who, what, when, where, why, how, which, right? So these are great because we get more information. That's a better way to start a conversation. Next, practice active listening. So, especially if you feel a little nervous about small talk in English, make sure to listen carefully. Don't focus on what you will say next, focus on listening to the other person. And then you can think about what you want to say next. And finally, show your enthusiasm. So, be kind, be friendly, and you will definitely be successful.